Hi everyone, it's Marty. Welcome to class 26. Good morning, good afternoon. Hope you had a great I hope you had a great day at work. Or I hope this helps you fall asleep, depending on when you're listening to this. So this week we talked about stress management, and we had handouts. We had our Thanksgiving potluck, which was really great. I showed a cheap trick, which I'm going to tell you about. We talked about the challenge. This was the last week of the challenge. We talked about our next challenge, and we also had Jazmine, which she's so fantastic. She did yoga with us. It was wonderful. Okay, so the handouts and resources. These are things that we had at the a few of these things we had at the potluck. So we had the cranberry sauce, the pecan tartlets, the soups, and the garlic cream. And we put in the cornbread dressing. Okay, so what I want to tell you about the kitchen notes on this is the pecan tartlets in the at the potluck. Um, I did not want to roll out all this puff pastry, so I got puff pastry shells. Oh no, puff pastry cups. And what I did with them, and you could do this with the cups or the shells, you don't have to roll them out, and you don't have to do all this stuff. It's pretty simple, but they have to be pre-baked, and the filling has to be already set. So basically, you do what the recipe says, and then when you get to the part where you're going to roll out the puff pastry sheet, they come in sheets, they come in cups, they come in shells. Um, you will, if you're using the cups or the puff pastry shells, which are really simple to use, you just put those in the oven. They'll tell you whatever temperature they're supposed to be. They generally take between 15 and 20 minutes to cook, so you bake them just up to 15 minutes. I actually did mine about 13 minutes. And so they puff up, but they're not totally brown. And you pull them out while they're cooking. Okay, while they're baking, you take the pecan tartlet in filling and heat it in a pot. What you're doing is there's cornstarch in the filling, and you have to bring it up to a boiling temperature so that it will coagulate. Um, it's really very simple to do. It takes like, oh, it might take 5 minutes. What you do is you bring it up, you heat it on a medium heat, and in a couple of minutes, and 2, 3 minutes, it'll start boiling. It'll start having bubbles on it. And you just keep stirring and stirring and stirring for like 2 to 3 minutes. Then you turn it off. That's it. When the puff pastry shells come out, or the cups, whatever it is that you're using, then you just fill them with the stuff. And the note about the pecan tartlet filling is it actually is for two. It's doubled. So it makes 24 puff pastries as opposed to making 12, depending on how big you make them too. But you can definitely make close to 24 of those really simply. And it probably would make close to 24 of the puff pastry shells. So just a little FYI on that. Okay, so the carrot soup was made separately. The parsnip soup is made separately. They're both very yummy. But the little chefy trick, these recipes come from the Millennium Cookbook. The Millennium Restaurant is one of the top vegan restaurants in the entire United States. And then you're going to see you have a sheet that has both of them on it. And this is to tell you how to do this little trick. It looks really great. So if you were having like friends over and you really want to impress them and make them think that you're a great chef, get two ladles and get a soup bowl. And what you do is you fill both ladles at the same time and you hold them over the bowl. And then you pour the ladles at the same time next to each other. And because the soups are the same consistency, you'll end up with a line that goes right between the two of them. It looks really cool. You have this orange and this kind of mushroomy colored soup, and it looks really cool. Then you can put a little dab of garlic cream on it. You don't have the garlic cream recipe because I made a garlic cream according to one recipe, and I didn't like it, so I made it again. And this one I liked, but I made it the day of our potluck, so you're going to get the recipe the next time. All right, we talked about the challenge. So we had people go through. Oh, people were doing so much better on their diet. They were like, well, I only did one thing for one day. But we also had people who were following it all the way through. So that was really cool. Um, but people were like, oh, I just did this little mess up. I did just this little thing. It was great. It was really wonderful to see people really stepping up. This is because this is a study. And honestly, the data that comes out of this study is so, so important. Um, so it was wonderful that people were doing exercising goals, and that was really great. And this was the last week that you could put in for tickets to win a gift basket. So if you came, we hope that you got your tickets in. But we can't let you rest on your laurels. So we have a new challenge called Hustle Through the Holidays. And Dr. Bree came up with this, which I thought was really great. This is our next new soul challenge. The holidays can be really difficult time to stay on track. So we have the stress, and we also have a whole lot of parties, holiday feastings. You got to go do all this stuff. So we really want you to just focus on two things from now until New Year's. Maintain your weight. Don't gain. Some of you are just going to go out there and you're just like gun ho and you're going to lose weight during the holidays. I know you are. And then there are going to be some people who are not, and they're going to be really trying and they're just not. And it's going to be frustrating and they're going to feel like they're a failure. We don't want you to feel like you're a failure. If you could just get through the holidays without gaining weight, you have no idea how much ahead you will be. People tend to gain about a pound during the holidays, and it doesn't seem like much, but the reality is that sometimes you have that pound, you don't take it off, and then you're sitting around in January and February because it's kind of cold outside, and now you've actually put on 2 or 3 pounds. And by the time life rolls around the next year or the next couple of years, you've put on 5 or 10 pounds, and you keep wondering where it comes from. So what we want you to do is just if you can at least maintain. Now, how do you do that? You need to weigh yourself at least weekly because if your weight goes up, it's easy to get rid of a pound versus I'm not weighing myself and I'm gaining 2 or 3 pounds. That's harder to get rid of. Okay, and that can also make you feel frustrated. We don't want that. So keep following your diet. You have no idea how important it is that you follow the diet through the holidays. You're going to prevent that weight gain. Every time that you say, "No, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to follow, what my diet recommendations are," you are going to come out ahead. And we have given you a number of different phrases that you can use. One of them is, "You know what? It does look good. I'm going to try that later." That kind of just moves people aside. You can also say things like, especially if you're sitting at a dining table where people are looking at you, you know what? I promised the team that I was going to work really hard and not go off my diet, and I don't want to disappoint them. We've had things from participants that have said, and those came from participants. We had something else that a participant said, which was, "Yep, it's really working it for me, and I feel great." And that was when another female was looking at her like, "Oh, so what are you doing?" And she just didn't play into the moment. She just, made it a very positive response and just kind of took all that anger or jealousy or whatever that other woman was feeling and just kind of like let it go. And I thought that was really great on her part. All right. To help you do this, of course, we're going to have an action, and the action is join us for the Alpha Phi Alpha MLK Celebration 5K. So we want you to hustle through the holidays. So use the holidays as a way to get active with your friends and family to keep them healthy too. And you can help yourself and a good cause. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to do that by joining us walking or running if you're really ambitious, which I may actually challenge myself to start running for this. With the MLK Celebration 5K. Now, we found out that the date is January 19th. So all the information can be found at the link at the bottom, and you'll also get the link it's going to be up on the website. So how you're going to accomplish this goal, because we want you to get the goal, is to sign up for the MLK 5K by December 14th. It costs $25 and you get a t-shirt. If you register, if you forget, but you still register by January 10th, it's still only $25, but you don't get a t-shirt. If you want to do the challenge, and we really would like to put together a new soul team. So if you'd like to do the challenge, but you just can't afford the registration fee, then just call Mary. Just call Mary because we want you to join us. You start training for the 5K the week of November 19th, and you can join the New Soul team on the race day. And if you don't get a T-shirt, we're trying to put together a team, and then we're going to have we're going to have T-shirts. So, but we need to know how many people are going to be doing this. So, your friends, your family, they can all. We'd love to have a whole bunch of people with the New Soul team. And Dr. Bree put together a sample training plan, and training plans are really wonderful because they help you keep on track, and they also start you off at something that's pretty simple. So it starts you off with 5 or 10 minutes of walking a day, and 99% of you already do this. And then one day a week, you do a long walk, which is 25 minutes or 1 mile. A lot of people we know already do this, but some people are just, really starting slow, and that's great because we want you not to hurt yourself. There's also a wonderful app that Dr. Bree has talked about, and also one of our participants brought up in our last meeting, which is Couch to 5K. And so this is a really good app. A lot of people know about it and are using it. So it's called Couch to 5K, and you can use that to help you train to get to this 5K. If you can't be with us, but you would like to do something, we'd love you to do a virtual race. If you can't race, do the day, that's okay. We know some people, you live outside of town. That's all right. Join us virtually. Track a 1.3 mile walk on your phone and send it to us so we can celebrate your accomplishment because we're really excited about people getting out and doing stuff. All right, now our class was about inflammation and stress. Stress causes inflammation. It damages your cells. It causes cellular aging. You do need inflammation partially in your body, but you don't need as much. And literally, stress itself just causes it. And it will increase the effects of chronic disease. What we find that yoga actually decreases the effects of chronic disease and it decreases cellular aging. And it does this by decreasing the inflammation, but by also increasing the anti-inflammatory markers that are out there. So there's certain substances in your body that we can look at and we'll go, oh, this helps decrease the inflammation in your system. And those go up when you do yoga. Also, there are many small studies that show that it helps with depression. And one of the things that Jazmine was telling us was that she thought there needs to be more studies because what she sees is that it really does help with depression. And having done yoga for 30 years, I totally agree. So yoga slows down the harmful effects of stress and inflammation. It brings down the level of hormones that promote inflammation, like cortisol. We talked about that. Lowers the number of pro-inflammatory molecules in the body and inhibits inflammation that in turn weakens and even kills cancerous cells within people with cancer. She was talking about someone that she knew that completely changed her health around simply by doing yoga, nothing else. Yoga is so much more than just a bunch of positions. It is really part of that idea of polish here, shine there. So people are asking about, well, does it really help you with different aspects of life? And Jazmine was telling us, yes, it can, because of the fact that yoga works on all different parts of the body. And she was talking about how it relates to chronic pain. And a lot of times that's actually just emotion. That's actually called somato. When you let it go, it's called somato emotional release, which is somato meaning things of yourself. And it's an emotion that you have within yourself. And when you work with the muscle or the area, you can also touch the emotional aspects of it and release them. So yoga does a lot of incredible things. All right. So, please, if no matter where you are on the spectrum of activity, I know that Jazmine can help you find the yoga that really would help you. So if you, I really think she's terrific, and if you want to know more about how you could get to a class where she is or how to work with her, we will be happy to put you in touch. So today we discussed a little bit on how to plan your meals through the holiday. We did the cheap little chef turkey, and then we talked about stress reduction. What we're going to be doing in the coming weeks, I am going to also start on time with our next speaker. We have a guest speaker, Dr. Amente Sujai. Dr. Sujai is going to talk about the King's Table, a healthy diet as an act of resistance based on the Hebrew text of Daniel. And she is also one of the consultants for the study. So I want to make sure that we start on time only because, not because I want to just be anal that we start on time, but because I want to make sure that any kind of questions that people have, we have time for those questions. We don't want to just, oh my gosh, we have to go. The next class is coming in. So that's why we want to start on time. So, we understand that people are coming out of work and all kinds of things. So this is not you're a bad person because you weren't there on time. But, if you happen to be able to walk a little quicker through the parking lot, or if you can get out that day, happen to be able to get out 5 minutes early, great, because we are going to be starting on time so that Dr. Sujai has enough time to speak, and she also has time for your questions. And we'll be giving out the gift baskets. The week after, Dr. Bree is going to be talking about inflammation, and we will be having hands-on cooking. We're going to be doing it on Alfredo sauce. So there you have that. Please fill out the weekly questionnaire. Do that by Sunday. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being a part of the new soul study. We really, really do. We are not kidding about the fact that each and every one of you is very important to us. And we want you to have a wonderful holiday. We are looking forward to seeing you when you come back, and we want to hear all about your challenges. And also, we know that there's going to be a lot of people that have successes, and realize any small step that you take is a success. And don't forget, if you can remember, take your toothbrush with you to these different parties, because once you brush your teeth, you generally don't want to do it again. And it helps you from going back to the table. Okay, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving.